Hello, folks. Welcome to Pro Trader Strategies. My name is Eric Wilkinson, and this is Spotting the Trade. In this video, what I'm going to do is talk about some economic data, see how that's impacting the overall markets with some market analysis, and then finally wrap it up with some trades that I'm looking at to implement into my portfolio. Hopefully, you folks can learn from that. As I have specific guidelines that I've created over the 25 years that I've been trading to help streamline that process. So we aren't second guessing ourselves when we implement a strategy. We know specifically this is the best strategy for the given assumption. All right. So that's what we try to do here. Turn the probabilities in your favor, give you guys some little helpful hints as in order to determine what is the right option strategy. And you'll kind of start figuring this stuff out intuitively as I build from simple concepts to real life examples for you. All right, so throughout the video, smash that like button, comment over in the side. You guys are driving this content, so I want to see you guys talking to me back and forth over there in the comment section. And if you're new around here, make sure you smash that like button. I came on at my scheduled time today, but I'm not always going to do that. It's going to be when I find a strategy. So if you click the little bell right next to that, folks, that will give you the notification that I'm coming on live unannounced. And yes, I'm a little bit disheveled here today as I woke up like I was gargling with razor blades last night. So bear with me. I do want to get through this because I do have a couple of things I forgot to talk about yesterday that I want to make sure everybody is up to speed on with my portfolio and some of the trades that I'm putting on here. So I don't want to leave you guys in the dust on that. But first, let's get on with the economic data. We here in the United States got a lot of economic data, actually. We got the Richmond Manufacturing Index. Now, we've been seeing some of these Fed indexes coming in a little bit lower. These are the ones the FOMC are really going to be looking at. Richmond Fed, though, coming in at 12, expected to be just a 4, much better than expected there, and not really surprising when you see the CV consumer confidence. That was much higher at 113, expected to be 108, and it was higher than the 109 previously. That number was revised up, albeit just a little bit as well. Then we got the new home sales coming in at 800,000. That was one of those economic data points that we've been seeing wane a little bit here as folks are coming into the winter season. That's not really a high time for homes. So this is good to see that new home sales are starting to ratchet up. It was a little bit worrisome as we were seeing some of those numbers at least taper or plateau a little bit. And now we're starting to rebound again. Later on this week, we have crude oil inventories and several other economic data points. Not the biggest week for economic data, but still enough data to give us some good indication as our directionality. At this point, to me, it is looking like upside risk across the board in the equities here. Let's get on with, sorry, I want to do that one. We got crude oil moving a little bit higher. Now, something to note, I was looking at these topping patterns, and if you zoom in on it, it even looks a little bit crazier with some of those candles that I'm usually looking for, but a top, no confirmation. Looks like we got a nice little bottom here to keep an eye on. That's going to, let's just call it $80. That's what they were trying to defend here in the markets. So now we get up here and we start getting these side by side. Generally speaking, that would have been a very bearish signal, even these, but never getting confirmed. Another move higher yesterday, another topping pattern, but still nobody giving up on the bullish move here in crude oil. So it looks like we might be moving to 90. Now, you remember, I've been playing this to both directions. My feeling is we're going to roll over a little bit here in crude oil. Some folks are calling for $100 a barrel. Well, that's a good time to put on a strangle or a straddle, which is what we were looking at for this particular trade, going over into not using the futures, but using some of the stocks. ConocoPhillips is the one that I chose. All right, bonds stuck right there at the point of control. I don't think it's going to go anywhere for the foreseeable future. Maybe we'll move up 2 points in the bonds or down 2 points in the bonds, but for the most part, we're going to end up right here at around 160 to 159-ish area there. Gold coming off a little bit. I don't know why people are worried about inflation anymore. It's still here. Bitcoin is off a little bit, but we're holding on to those 60s quite easily there. The VIX is moving a little bit higher as we're seeing the equities make moves to the upside, piercing up here, testing these all-time highs in the futures. Now, everybody's talking about the indexes, folks. Futures aren't necessarily making those all-time highs. The index might, but remember, the futures are forward-looking, and that's why it's not always priced in exactly where the index is. And something to note about the index, if you guys want to smash that like button, because this is a light bulb moment, maybe. But anyway, the index is right now. It's the culmination of all those products. Now, forward-looking is the futures. So something to note, if the futures are below where the index is, we call that backwardation. The easiest way to remember backwardation is when you're looking at futures and there's different months, the further out in time is backward down, okay? That's where you hear backwardation. It means those further duration futures are in a lower price than where we are currently. And that's backwardation, meaning the backward is down is the easiest way I would remember it. And then that's what we're kind of seeing here in crude oil, all right? Contango, on the other hand, is the longer duration futures are higher, all right? So, but the easiest way to remember the difference between contango and backwardation, you're like, what does that mean? Just remember, backward down, okay? All right, so that'll help. Hopefully, it's helped a lot of people I know to remember what backwardation means. It means the backward price is, or the further duration price is down below where the current price is. All right, many S&Ps, or sorry, Dow Jones cruising to the upside again. Looks like 36,000's right around the corner here. And I'm going to have to extend some of these trends because I want to see when we get back into this trend channel. I mean, it's held for so long. I would love to get back into this trade and start looking at it again. We could probably see that show up again over in the SPY that I have some trend channels around as well. Again, not a whole lot to see here on the data. From the data, it's really kind of causing a little bit of pause here. Something that's given a move to the upside in the equities. Tesla coming out with some news here. Let's talk about Tesla. Amazon's getting pulled to the upside, probably because of Tesla. A lot of people are correlating Amazon and Tesla these days. Why? Because look at this move in Tesla. Oh my God, up what? A couple of percent here and over, $13 or so to the upside, at least right now, making a new all-time high, making this a $1 trillion company, folks. Well, let's talk about Tesla for a moment. What happened to cause this move? Well, Hertz comes out and says, hey, we're going to have 100,000 cars, Tesla cars. We're going to purchase those and put those in our fleet for rentals when you're flying around, right? Well, that move to the upside was astronomical. Do you think that if Ford got that same deal, they would have seen this upside move? No, because Ford produces 100,000 cars for Hertz probably every year. Now, Tesla gets this big contract, which isn't any more than anybody else. This move in Tesla, folks, market cap, just alone on this one deal, makes that one deal move valuing more than the entire rest of the auto producers, the manufacturers. This move, the valuation increase in Tesla on that one sell of 100,000 cars, this move added more value to Tesla than what the rest of the space is worth. Okay? To me, there's a bit of a disconnect there. Now, at one time, what folks are saying is Amazon said the same thing, or people said the same thing about Amazon, is the market cap for Amazon is worth more than all of the books ever sold. And he has other ancillary things going on. I don't know that Tesla has the ability to pivot that big in order to, produce as many cars as everybody else in the world. I guess there's like 500 automakers coming out with EVs pretty soon. Or 500 autos, not just automakers, but 500 different types of autos. All right, I think that's a headwind. So Tesla is making a move. I think it's just well overdone to the upside. DraftKings making some moves here as they've been talking about folks accepting of gambling. Another thing that we talked about was Las Vegas Sands last week, something I forgot about. Late in the day, I lost track of this trade. You guys remember I had sold the 39 puts. Well, the market had come against me. Those were in the money. I was just going to offset that trade so I could avoid the assignment fees of $35. It was something very close to that. I had to pay the brokerage fee and another anyway. It ends up being very close to $30, $35 if you go through the assignment process rather than just getting out of the trade and spending a couple of dollars on those options. So definitely in these videos, when I'm talking about don't go through the assignment process, well, if you don't care about $35 like I didn't on Friday, obviously, then that is something that happens. But having said that, I am now long Las Vegas Sands in my portfolio at 39 because I went through that assignment process. Strike price 39 is where I get long. Making this move to the upside today is good, but I am going to start looking at doing covered calls on this particular underlying because anytime I get put the stock or something like this happens, that's what I'm going to look to do. Cash secured puts, get that stock into my account, lower overall cost basis by selling that 16 delta call like I talk about in my videos. All right, so check those out. If you've enjoyed this, please smash that like button as it feeds those bots, runs out there, find somebody like you to share this information with. Comment over on the side, folks. If I'm not covering something you want to see, throw it over there. I'll be happy to cover it. All right, and make sure you guys are subscribing and hitting that bell because on these videos particularly, I might pop in unannounced throughout the day and talk about trades that I'm finding. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Hope everybody has a great day. And if you can't take that, take it easy.